So Ubisoft has updated the game and done some changes to 4 heroes: Peacekeeper, Warden, Nobushi and Shugoki. They have also added Griffin, a new hero, to the Knights faction, which is strange. I don't get it why they have added another knight after Warmonger. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. Today we're going to talk about the Peacekeeper's buff. We're going to look into the new changes and how they are going to affect the gameplay. But before going on, please note these changes are only happening in the testing grounds and they are not confirmed as they are yet. They're being tested, and if everything goes well, they will be added to the game modes eventually. If not, we will most likely experience more changes and different results. So please stay tuned and let's begin. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Faribors and this is my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, let's cut to the chase and talk about the most important change in my opinion first. Peacekeeper is eventually getting an unblockable. But hold on a second, do not get exhilarated so fast. There's an exception to that. She will have an unblockable only against a locked on bleeding target. Really, Ubisoft? I mean, Peacekeeper is already so weak in terms of team fights. She has got no external pressure in ganking moments. She can be easily blocked externally and there is nothing like a bash or a kick or an unblockable to force the person in 2v1 situations. And now, guess what? You have to find a way to penetrate your dagger into the guy's body to make him bleed, and then you will be rewarded with an unblockable. It's a bit odd, since hitting with dagger can also be blocked externally, but there's still a chance, and having an unblockable under certain circumstances is better than not having one at all. So moving to the main discussion, all heavy finishes, whether it is left, right or top, will become unblockable against a bleeding opponent. Also, the second hit of the zone attack will be unblockable under the same circumstances. I believe that is cool, it will make her stronger in 1v1s, but I believe she will still struggle in team fights. The second important change is that she will get a damage increase, which is fascinating for Peacekeeper mains like me, but based on what I've read online, people are so mad about her. The fact is that she will deal 5 more raw damage for every single heavy attack. The bleeding damage is not changed, it deals the same amount of damage in the same amount of time, but the baseline or raw attack will deal 5 extra damage. For example, the dodge attack used to be 5 raw damage and 11 bleeding damage over time, which was 16 on aggregate. Now it is 10 raw damage and bleeding damage remains the same, which means 21 on aggregate. Most people were assuming they will reduce the bleeding damage and add it to the raw damage, like making the raw damage 10 and bleeding damage 6 for the dodge attack. But now that they have kept the bleeding damage intact and gave her a buff on the baseline damage, so many people are mad and complaining. They believe she will be overpowered. Well, this way she will be a bit stronger, but overpowered? We've got to find that out over time. That cannot be confirmed right now. In my own opinion, her bleeding damage is so slow and there is no point in it being more than the raw damage. Why should you do 5 raw damage and wait nearly 10 seconds for 11 more? In those 10 seconds, the other hero can take a lot of action against you. It happens many times to me that I've got the guy and I'm waiting for him to bleed to death, but they panic and start light spamming and I die before they do. Cause the bleeding damage is so slow and is significantly more than the raw damage. Besides, with the baseline or raw damage being so low, you barely find an executing opportunity, which is so useful in teamfight modes like Dominion due to the health you gain from it. This way, you will execute more and you will kill faster. Speaking of the zone attack, I mentioned that the second hit is going to be unblockable against a bleeding target, but there are more changes. First, that is considered as a heavy now. I know not everybody can be fast enough to parry Peacekeeper's zone attack since it's one of the fastest attacks in the game, maybe by getting some help from Lady Luck or option selecting, but anyway, her zone attack is no longer considered as a light attack. Parrying it will give the opponent a heavy parry reaction, which makes sense because that is the same for other heroes, or at least for most of them to my knowledge. And that is also an enhanced attack from now on, and won't stop your chain, which is so cool in my opinion. This can be helpful a lot. The other change to the zone attack, which is so cool, is that the second hit can be soft feinted into a guard break or a dodge. This is truly amazing, considering she could already feint it to Dagger Cancel, and now with 2 more options added, that is going to be a breathtaking mix-up opportunity. The opponent has to read your mind and guess whether you are going to Dagger Cancel it, feint it to guard break, or make a dodge attack, and that is not easy. So this way, Peacekeeper will have better options in 1v1s, but she still lacks power in team fights, whether ganking or being ganked. On their website, Ubisoft has claimed that the deflection attack is going to be performed by heavy attack now. But in the testing grounds I played, it's applicable with both light attack and heavy attack. If it's both buttons, then perfect, but I assume that is a mistake. I mean, what they have written on their website is right, and what is implemented in the game is a mistake or glitch or bug or whatever you call it. Since one of the key moves for the Peacekeeper is her dodge attack, it happens sometimes that you try to dodge and you get a lucky deflection. But since you hit the heavy attack for the dodge and the deflection attack works with a light attack, you can miss the deflection opportunity. But now it works with the heavy attack, which can help you to get your deflects more often. But is that practical or just a good sounding idea? We can find out over time based on how accustomed we get to it. And as the last change, you can cancel your Dagger Cancel's recovery. That sounds good, but how good? If you have played with Peacekeeper after the Core Combat Update, also known as CCU, you have most likely noticed that she has got a frame disadvantage in some situations, like after Dagger Cancels and after hard feints. Ubisoft did it to prevent light spamming, but she really sucked afterwards. She became slower, and since her attack damages are a bit lower than the others, she became generally weak. And now they have decided to help her a bit with that, but in a way she won't get the light spamming opportunity back. They have not touched the hard feint's frame disadvantage, but for the Dagger Cancel, she will be able to cancel her recovery by dodging. I don't feel that's gonna help a lot, maybe in some certain situations, but not a big difference. They have claimed that this will help her in the outnumbered situations. Well, you won't be sure about that since many heroes out there have got undodgeable attacks. I mean, imagine you are in a 2v1 against a Black Prior and a Warlord. They have got everything needed against you: bashes, unblockables, undodgeables. So even if you try to cancel the recovery or even reacting to them by dodging, you can still be hit by their undodgeables. I would personally like her attacking window back at least after the Dagger Cancel, or making the Dagger Cancel or the Deep Gouge a chain opener. Peacekeeper has got no opener but her typical lights. Nobushi, as an instance, has her dodge attacks and her deflection attacks as openers besides her typical lights. But Peacekeeper has got nothing like that. That would help her a lot more than that. So as mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's not only Peacekeeper who gets some changes in their kit. Warden, Nobushi and Shugoki are also getting some changes, and you can read them here by pausing the screen. I will also leave the link to this page in the description, and you can open the page in your browser. So what is your opinion? Do you think these changes are going to be implemented as they are, or are they going to make players mad and there are going to be more changes before they get live? please feel free to discuss it in the comments and let's see how the game can get better. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed my content, please do not forget to drop a like, subscribe to my channel and introduce me to your friends. I will catch you later with another For Honor video soon. Till then, keep safe and stay home.